What's up, you guys? Welcome back and welcome if you're new. In today's video, we're going to be installing a Prinsu roof rack onto Steve's RAV4. So if you guys do have a vehicle like this, today's video is going to be for you guys. We're going to show you just exactly how to install it. We're going to show you what comes inside the box. And at the end of the video, we're going to go ahead and just show you guys how awesome it's going to look once it's installed. Let's go ahead and now get Steve that Prinsu life. Damn! So as always, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what comes inside the box before we get into the installation. But I do want to let you guys know, if you guys do have a Tacoma, I've already done an installation video on my truck. So check it out. It's in the description box below if you guys also want to install a Prinsu roof rack. Of course, for today's video, we're going to be installing it on a 5th gen RAV4. So we're going to show you just exactly how to do it. So we're going to start off over here. So it is going to come with a couple pieces. And of course, depending on what you purchase with it, like for us, we did do a couple add-ons, which I'll show you guys right now. But looking here, it's going to come, of course, with 7 crossbars. These are going to be the black ones that are here. It's going to come with 1 silver crossbar here. That's actually going to be for the windscreen. And the windscreen here, as you can tell, there is a cutout. So the reason for that is because we're going to be mounting a light bar up on the roof. So we needed that cutout to be able to do that. Another cool thing that I wanted to mention on this Prinsu roof rack for the RAV4s, check that out, you guys. That's a freaking awesome touch. It looks great. Another thing that we did buy, and this is an add-on, it's like a rubber. Basically what this is going to be, it's just going to be a wind deflector seal, and it's just going to kind of help with reducing wind noise. So I highly suggest getting it. It's affordable. The next thing that I have right here are going to be the 2 main mounting points. You guys will see where it goes, but it's going to come with 2 of those bad boys there. Next thing over here, it's going to come with a good amount of hardware. So you're going to get 1 baggie full of screws just like this, and all you're going to need to do is grab the screw, grab one of the washers, and you're going to place it just like that. And then this is what comes in one of the baggies. The next baggie you're going to get is going to be for the actual wind deflector. It's going to come with a couple of these here, and then same thing, it's going to come with some screws and washers, and you're going to do the same thing just like that. So that's another baggie there. Another bag that it comes with is going to be right here. This silver stuff is just going to be some mounting points. You don't need to install this. This is just kind of something that they throw in if you guys want to put it or not. It's also going to come with some Loctite because they do not provide lock washers anymore. So it's cool that they at least provide the Loctite. Another baggie, you're going to get some hardware. This is going to be the actual mounting hardware for the roof rack. That's going to go into the roof, allowing it to sit on there. You guys will see when we get to it. The next thing that we did get that are the add-ons, like I was telling you guys, is going to be this here. So these brackets and this hardware that it came in another baggie, that's going to be for the light bar. So like we said, we did get it with the cutout because we're mounting a light bar there. The next thing that we did get that is another add-on are going to be these grab handles. The cool thing about these Prinsu grab handles, as you can tell, it does have a cutout here. So if you guys do want to get some Baja design lights or anything like that, it'll be awesome to go ahead and mount it on the side of the vehicle. And then it'll go ahead and, of course, light up your campsite at night. And if you guys don't want to do that, they also provide these little plates that you can just go ahead and put there. And it adds an awesome touch, and like I said, they're little grab handles. So let's go ahead and now get into the install video and show you guys how it's done. First thing that I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and start building out the roof rack. It's going to make it a lot easier to just kind of have it set and done, so that way when we go ahead and move on to the actual RAV4, we just have to place it over. So of course, this is accomplishable by yourself, but if you guys do have a buddy or two, it'll make it so much easier. So first things first, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to grab these 2 bigger ones right here. These are going to be, of course, the actual mounting points that go onto the roof. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of set them down for now, just to show you guys, so you guys know what goes to what. So looking right here, this side is kind of flat, and if you look on the back side, you're going to notice the mounting points. So of course, on the car itself, those mounting points are going to have to face inwards. Same thing with that one, it has to face inwards. So we're gonna go ahead and just set them down for now. The next thing you're gonna wanna go ahead and get is you're gonna wanna go ahead and get your 7 crossbars. So these are just gonna go kind of along the whole way of the roof rack. So you wanna go ahead and start off with that. The cool thing about the Prinsu roof rack is it's super modular. So noticing once again right here on the side of it, there's a bunch of mounting holes. So one thing I did want to know on these crossbars, once of course you have them laid out like we have, you're going to notice there's going to be 2 holes like this on each end. Those are basically going to be mounting points. So those you want to actually have them facing towards the top. The reason why is because when you go to install them, you can then use these as mounting points, and you can slide kind of T-nuts in there and just mount stuff. So you want to make sure to take note on that. Another thing, like I was saying, for us, we have it laid out already, but we're going to be installing the crossbars on each of these holes, just that way everything is kind of nice and even. So let's go ahead and now grab the hardware and start installing these bad boys. All right, you guys, so for this next step, you're going to want to go ahead and now grab one of your baggies. So looking right here, the baggie that I have here, this bag only literally came with these screws here, which is a T30 Torx bit, and these little washers. So what you're going to want to go ahead and do is just build them out. So grab your screw, grab the washer, and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab 28 of these bad boys, and that's what's going to install the crossbars. Let's do that now. We're just going to do it by hand, and then we'll go from there. All right, you guys, so now moving on to the crossbar, what you're going to want to go ahead and do is go ahead and grab your Loctite. Before you actually open it up, you want to go ahead and shake it, give it a couple good shakes, and then break it open. So the reason we're grabbing the Loctite is because, like I was saying, the hardware we're going to be using here is going to be the T30 Torx bit screw and that washer. So once you have it in that place, you go ahead and grab some of your Loctite, and you're going to want to go ahead and spread it. A little bit goes a long way, so let's go ahead and now get started. Sexy. For each crossbar that you guys are putting on, you're going to need 2 of these screws and 2 washers. So let's go ahead and get that started now. So noticing here, we've already done it hand tight, like we were saying. One thing to note, you can tell right here, we haven't put the rear crossbar just yet. We're going to leave that one off for now until we actually install it onto the vehicle. Since this Rav4 does have a shark fin in the back, we don't know the placement of where the antenna is going to be, and we don't want it to get, of course, in the way of the rack. So we're going to leave it off for now. Once we install it, then we'll put that on. But note, it's all done by hand.
Alright guys, so as you can see now, we got all the crossbars in. We pretty much laid it out how it's going to go on the car. All these bolts are in hand tight. As you can see, it's a little wobbly. At this point, you can get your little scratatata and scratatata. Just like that. Depending on the strength of your gun, you don't want to get too crazy with this. If you are doing it by hand, kind of just want to tighten it and give it a little
And one thing I did want to know, like he was saying, depending on the strength on your gun, be really careful. These are like aluminum screws, and they will shear off completely. So the head can come off if you guys do it too tight. So take note of that.
As just said earlier, this is a T30 socket that we're using on all these bolts.
And before we actually start tightening this side down, I'm going to go ahead and put the wind deflector screen, because if you go ahead and tighten that side down, it's going to be kind of hard to put this front piece. So let's go ahead and put that on right now. All right, you guys, so up next, what we're going to be working on is this bad boy right here. So grabbing the silver crossbar, we're going to go ahead and now start working on the actual windscreen, which is here. So first things first, what you want to go ahead and do, this piece is going to go onto the crossbar there. The way we're going to be mounting this is, if you guys do remember, in one of the baggies, it did come with a bunch of these like little screws, and it came in with these ones, these T-nuts here. So these T-nuts are going to be actually slid into here, just like that, just like I slid that in. Super easy. And what you're going to want to go ahead and do is you're going to want to go ahead and slide a couple of these in, just like that. What we're doing with this is noticing on the windscreen, there's 2 holes here, 2 holes here, 2 there, 2 there, and 2 there. So basically, we're going to try to align these T-nuts to align with those holes all along the way. And we'll go ahead and put this over, and we'll put the screws on. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and work on right now. I'm going to try to align them as best as possible. So you're going to need, of course, 10 of those in there. Now you want to go ahead and get your windscreen, and we're going to go ahead and place it over. And like I said, this is where we're going to try to align the holes, and then we'll adjust this to where we need it to be. That one is going to be with the screws that were provided. So those are going to be the smaller screws. That's just going to be a Phillips head that you need to tighten it with, and it's going to come with a washer. It's going to be super simple. Just go ahead and put it there. All right, you guys, so right now I have, of course, 2 of them in, and I have these super loose. That way I could move this windscreen around and I can locate the nuts. So as you can tell, there they are. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep going with this. So the next step, now that we have the silver crossbar onto the windscreen, so what we're gonna be doing now is grabbing our seal. If you guys did purchase this, of course, you're gonna notice right here, there's gonna be a creasing right in the middle, and then you got the rubber piece. So that creasing there is actually going to go in between the windscreen there. You wanna go ahead and feed it in right on the edge. You're gonna notice right here, you got the rubber piece. That you wanna make sure that it's facing towards the back. This front piece, you want to make sure it's in the front, facing, of course, where you're going to be looking at it. So let's go ahead and just feed it all the way in, and then we'll get back to you guys once we're done. All right, you guys, so of course, now that we have it in this position here, we have the seal under there. You want to go ahead and get some cutters and just kind of cut away the access, because you're going to have some access. Now that we've, of course, put the crossbar there, we've tightened down the Phillips head screws that are in the front. We've now put the seal that goes on the bottom, if you guys did purchase it, of course, and we've now cut the end so that way there's no more access. Up next, what we're going to be doing is we're going to get a couple more of those long screws and washers. We're going to get 4 of them, and we're also going to be getting the Loctite that was provided. These screws and washers were the ones that we used for the crossbar on the roof rack. So let's go ahead and grab that. Let's grab our piece and move on to the roof rack now. So I'm going to go ahead and feed in the crossbar here. So now that I've put Loctite on this screw, like I was saying, noticing there's a circle hole there, a circle hole there, and in the center there's another piece there. So the cool thing about this, Prinsu actually makes it adjustable, so you can put your windscreen in whatever position you want. As far as for us, we're going to be mounting it a little bit more on the lower end. So I'm going to put one of the screws on the bottom, and then I'll put one screw probably around here somewhere. So let me start that process now. Don't tighten it down all the way just yet. We're going to do the opposite side, same exact steps, and then we'll go ahead and go once more with our T30 Torx bit and tighten everything down. All right, you guys, so of course now we have everything put together. Now Steve's going to go ahead and go with the skakakata, and he's just going to go for it.
So now that we have the roof rack assembled together and ready to put on the car, we're going to move on to the inside of the car, the disassembly of the headliner. So first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the visor. I'm going to open it up. The part that this clips onto, is going to give it a twist, and it should pull right out just like that, very easily. And then the bolt for the actual visor is going to be a Torx T25 bolt, as you can see here. Just going to get my socket and a ratchet, and it comes right off. This is how it's going to look like once you take off that sun visor. And just to note, one thing I like to do with my bolts whenever I'm working, if possible, put them back in the hole where they went. 1, so you don't lose them, and 2, so you know exactly where they went. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this grab handle off. As you can see here on the sides, there is a little notch there to where you can take it off. What I like to do is I like to wedge it on the bottom and then get in it behind, just like this.
One thing to note, if you guys do have a flathead screwdriver that's really small and skinny, that'll actually probably be better than using these plastic removal tools on this. Why? Because that hole is super small. You guys will see in person. Right now it's kind of hard because of that reason.
And just like that, it pulls right off. I'll do the other side. Now once you have those 2 covers off, you're going to see these metal clips here. What you're going to do is you're just going to use a screwdriver while pulling. You're going to push those in to disengage them. So you can see there. So I'll do it again with this one. Press up and then press the top one down, and it'll disengage those clips just like that. All right, now moving on, after this grab handle, what I'm gonna do is get this overhead control panel out. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your plastic tool and get it in there, and with my other hand I'm gonna apply slight pressure downwards so that the clips don't re-engage, and just like that we're gonna pop it out. You're gonna be disengaging these 4 clips here. Now this, I would just leave it hanging as the car still has the battery connected. We do not want to cause any codes by disconnecting this module. Now we're going to move on to the A-pillar. One thing I like to do to make the pillars easier to take off is I usually open the door and bring this seal down like so. This helps me get a good handle behind it and get my fingers in, and you get a firm yank just like that. So now that that's loose, we're good there, and it will be enough to drop the headliner, as you can see there. it's already starting to get loose right here. Now we're gonna move on to the back seat and we're gonna show you how to take off the B pillar and C pillar. So the next part that I'm gonna show you is removal of the B pillar. For this, we're gonna do the same thing like we did the A pillar. We're gonna kind of bring the seal back. And as you can see, my seal's already a little bit back from taking off the A pillar. So you're just gonna pull that back a little bit and move your seat kind of out of the way. What I like to do is bring it forward and lean the back to the front a little bit. As you can see now, the B pillar is clear for me to take it off. Now I'll be moving to the back seat, high and back. Same thing, I'm gonna be removing this seal here. Just kind of get under it and pull it out just like that. And same thing with the A pillar, you're just gonna kind of grab it and give it a firm yank back. Just like that. And that is honestly all you need to be able to access the bolts up top, just to drop the headliner, just like that. Now we're gonna move on to the C pillar. All right guys, so next step is gonna be the back grab handle. So just like the front, just gonna get a pry tool under it. And as Jesse stated, this is easier if you do have a small metal screwdriver that you can get on the side of it. Just like the front. And also, just like the front, like I said, you have these clips. Just kind of disengage them while you're pulling backwards, applying some pressure, and they pop right out. Just like that. Now we're gonna move on to the C pillar. And for this, I'm gonna take off the seal, just like the other pillars. And I'm actually gonna move to the back and open up my trunk lid. So, and just like everything else, seal, then give her a firm Yankee Doodle Doo. Like, there's just little clips. Gonna remove it. Bam, just like that, and then take this one out. Bam, just like that. And there's 3, never mind. Bam. So now with all that out the way, we're gonna do the exact same process on the passenger side. As you can see, there's gonna be a C pillar, 2 handles, B pillar, and an A pillar, and then the sun visor in the front for the passenger. So we're gonna get that done and we'll be back with you. So now that we have everything kind of disassembled on the inside, we're gonna take off this little border seal here for the sunroof.
Of course, this is only if you have a sunroof, because I don't think all of them have it.
That is very true. So now with that off, as you can see, this all came loose. You kind of just want to go around the edges and kind of pop it down just like that, just to make sure it's completely disengaged.
All the way around.
Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start taking off the bolt for the actual roof rack. All right guys, so now that we have the headliner down, as you can see here, there are 2 bolts here. There's gonna be another 2 bolts in the back. So what I'm gonna be using is a 12mm wrench. You can also use a socket if you have something that's short enough to get in there, but the wrench for me is working fine right now. So what you're gonna do is gonna loosen it up a bit. And what I like doing is loosening it up to where I can just go in there with my hand and take it off the rest of the way. So now I'll loosen the other one. And I come in here and...
Alright you guys, so those are the 2 that we just removed, of course, on the front driver's side, as you can tell. So you want to go ahead and do the same thing to the passenger side. It's going to be right about in that section there. So now we're going to be moving on to the back where Steve is. So pulling it down, basically where his hand's going to be, right there where the grab handle is, that's where we're going to look on the inside of the headliner. So let's go ahead and move in there now. Let me focus you guys.
Now it is going to be difficult to see it because we're trying to have a good video for you guys, but pretty much the other 2 bolts are here, like just said, right under the grab handle. For this one, I'm using a little short 13 with a small socket just so I can get in there. And just like the front, just kind of loosen it. That one, loosen this other one. Go in with my hand and take them right out. And as you can see here, I have 1 bolt. Just like all the other ones, we put that somewhere safe. Now we grab the other one. As you can see, I have both of them, and I'll put these somewhere safe, just right here in this little cubby hole. And now the rest should be clips. So once we just yank it out, we'll be ready to install our roof rack. All right guys, so now we're gonna be removing our factory roof. Like I said, the bolts are out and it just clips after that. As you can see, it comes right off. Move to the front a little bit because those clips didn't want to come out with all the other ones. And it's just like any other clip, guys. You just want to give it a firm pull and it comes right out just like that. All right guys, so this clip decided to stay in here. All I did was get a metal pry tool and just kind of pop it out. And like I said, this, we're not going to use it on the Prinsu rack, so you can just put it with your stock one in case you ever want to go back to stock. And yeah, keep it somewhere safe because you never know when you might need it.
So now that we've done this side, of course you want to go ahead and repeat the steps onto this passenger side. So we've already taken the nuts off, so this thing's ready to go. All we need to do now is just kind of pull it up and it comes right off.
So now, as you can see, we have both of the rails off. Now in this point in the install, we are gonna get the roof ready to accept the roof rack. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get a 3/8 size drill bit, and we're gonna drill out the very last hole. Now we're gonna do the other side, same thing. Like I said, go to the very last hole, drill her out. Now we're ready to accept our plus nuts there, and we're going to show you how to put those on right now. So now for in the very rear for the plus nuts, the bag came with 3 plus nuts. You're going to be using 2, and 1 is an extra. You're going to get this long spacing bolt, 3 washers, and you're going to be using a 1/2 inch wrench and a 7/16 wrench. Now, so what we're going to do is we're going to get one plus nut and the spacer and a bolt to start off with both of our wrenches, and we're going to show you how we crush the plus nut onto the car for the install. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a little rag and clean this off, because at this point in the install we are going to start working with the silicone. Ideally you are going to want to wipe this off with alcohol to make sure you get a real good seal, but I actually forgot my alcohol. We're just going to run with this. So now with the hole clean, you're gonna get your silicone. This is the one that I went with. Find this at Lowe's, Home Depot, like pretty much any hardware store. And what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna get a little bit of silicone and put it right on the edge of the plus nut, just like so. Then I'll get some and put it around the edge of here. I'm gonna go a little bit more heavy-handed with it here, just so it doesn't leak. Then install the plus nut just like that. Kind of just gonna spread around with my fingers and completely ignore the fact that I didn't want to get it on my hands, but that's fine because I have a rag. And what you're gonna do is you're actually gonna get your bolt and your spacer, and as you can see, the threads on the spacer don't interfere with the bolt. So now what you're gonna do is thread it in like so. So as you can see, I'm holding the washer with the 1/2 inch, and with the 7/16, I'm actually tightening the top nut. And what this is doing is actually going to be tightening the plus nut. It's going to be pulling it up, causing it to get tight on the body of the vehicle. Alright guys, so we got the plus nut all nice and tight. So now what we're going to do is we're going to remove the bolt and the spacer. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to apply more silicone here just to make sure I get no leaks. I'm just cover this up and let's get the other side done, and then we can continue on with our install. So now what we're gonna do is you're gonna get 5, and these are from the baggie that came with all of these bolts, along with the washers, the big washers and the lock washers. So we're gonna go to the other side and show you guys right now up top how these go on. Don't forget to grab your silicone also when you grab these. We had a little bit of a sound issue, but pretty much what we did, as you can see, the spaces are now in. There are 9 holes, as I'm counting right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. The number 9 hole is the one where we had the plus nut. Space is gonna go there. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna skip 1, 2, and 3. They're gonna get the spacers with silicone. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put some silicone on there, place the spacer on top, and what I did was I added extra silicone around the edges to make sure I get a good seal. 3, same thing. 4 and 5, we're skipping. 6 and 7, exact same thing. Put a little bead of silicone around the hole, place your spacer right on top, and then place a little bit of silicone around the edge to make sure it seals. Same thing with 7. You're gonna skip 8, and as I stated before, 9 is where our plus nut is at, and you're gonna do the exact same thing, putting a little bit of silicone on there, placing your spacer, and then putting a little bit more silicone to ensure a tight seal. And as always, it's going to be the same thing on the other side, exactly what you did over here. So from the hardware bag where the big washers and the big bolts are, also you're going to have these split washers. What you're going to do is these are going to be the hardware for the 4 frontmost and middle parts on the roof rack. So what you're going to do is you're going to put lock washer first, big washer, And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some silicone on the inside edge of the big washer and on the spacer, as we will show you once we have the roof rack installed, because like I said, you do not want this leaking, and honestly the more silicone the better. Are you recording?
Yeah.
All right guys, so this quick note, like I said, we are ready to put the roof rack on. Just real quick, I'm gonna get my silicone again, come up, and I'm gonna put a little bead of silicone right along this edge of the spacer. Like I said, the more silicone the better, to be honest, because you really don't want this to be leaking and then have to do all this all over again, because that will mean you got to drop your headliner and reseal everything just like that, and then continue on with the rest. Like I said, I am gonna put a little bit more sealant on the actual bottom of the bolt just to help it some more seal, get around the washer. What you're gonna do here is you're gonna put it through the hole, and where the bolts were, where we originally took off, those are the bolts that you're gonna use to lock this on. So what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna put that on. So like I said, these are the original nuts to take off the original rack. Now what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna put these on hand tight just to secure the roof rack, just so it doesn't move on us. Also, you don't want to be putting this on too tight, just in case you do need to adjust it just a little bit, you guys. I'll be putting one more on the other side, right up in the front, somewhat secure. It moves around less and doesn't fall off the car. Like we said, it's gonna be bolt, lock washer, and the big nut and
Big washer.
Big washer. And as I said, I put some silicone here. Let me go to the other side and do that right now. So as you can see here, I have one bolt here and one bolt there. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the back to the plus nuts and kind of get those slightly snug down, just so that way I can kind of get this roof rack somewhat centered. I'm gonna do the rear, just kind of center a little bit. So for the rear, it's just gonna be the smaller long bolts with the slightly smaller washer. These would be in the bags with the plus nuts. And I'm just gonna do the same thing like I did with the front. Grab a little bit of silicone and apply it right where the bolt head is with the smaller washer. Goes right in there, right into the plus nut. Continue on this side, like I said, we got the smaller bolt, smaller washer, and these are gonna be for the plus nuts. Grab a little bit of the silicone, just like on that side. Apply it to the bottom of the washer, just like that. And I have my 7/16. We're just gonna snug her down. And then with that, we're gonna use get our bigger bolts from the kit, and we're just gonna put in the rest, as now it is secured.
Yeah. Damn.
Ready?
Yeah.
Ready. Double ready.
Ready.
Triple ready.
Super ready.
Sexy ready.
Not really.
All right guys, so now at this point, like just said, it is helpful to have a buddy, preferably one with a beard. Oh, I was talking about, see this growth right here?
Mine's better, I think, or that one. No, I'm just kidding.
This part, it is helpful to have a buddy. So what Jesse's gonna be doing, he's gonna be getting this 1/2" wrench, the same one that we've been using, and he's gonna be holding the bolts up top while I'm under the headliner. Remember those nuts that we took before for the original roof rack? We're gonna be tightening those down. And yeah, like I said, it's helpful to have a buddy up top holding those down so that they don't spin.
All right, let me go ahead and show you guys what he was talking about. So I'm gonna go ahead and hold down all these bolts up here. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the front, and I have him inside right there. He's gonna be going inside the headliner to go ahead and hold the nuts down. So we're gonna go ahead and start with this. So like I said, I'm gonna hold it down while he tightens it. Working through the inside. Okay, so now that we've tightened down all the bolts, up next what we have left over, as you could tell, if you guys do remember, we had some holes right there, right here, and there's one there. So in those holes, what Steve actually got, I'll go ahead and let him explain.
So I found these on Amazon. They're just 8mm little body plugs. Not sure how well you can see that on camera. In the description box below, we'll link these to Amazon. And all I'm gonna do with these is, honestly, with how tight these things are, I probably don't need silicone, but I'm paranoid. I don't want water to get in here, and we're siliconing everything around here. Just a dab will do ya, as the cool kids say. Do cool kids say that nowadays?
No.
Oh, they don't say that?
No, not anymore.
Damn.
Nope. Sorry.
Can somebody please tell me what the cool kids say? Because I'm no longer a cool kid, apparently.
Not anymore, sorry.
Damn. Plug up these holes, the little plugs, and decides to cooperate with me. Yeah, just like that. You heard it go. Could they hear that sound?
I think they heard that.
Okay, it went like that. And now we're gonna do the same to all the other ones. So Jesse, tell me what a cool kid say in this situation right now. Since you obviously know.
I'm not cool either. So I wouldn't know.
We're not young either.
Nope.
So
or old.
I wouldn't know what the youth says.
He's 42, I'm 55. And all we have left is gonna be that one. And then we'll go ahead and do the same thing to the opposite side. Now that we've installed all the bolts and everything's kind of put there, we've put the plugs as well. Like we said, there's going to be holes left over, so that's what the plugs are for. That way nothing leaks through. Now we got Steve right here putting the rail here on the end of the roof rack. You're going to notice there's going to be 2 holes there. That's where you're going to want to go ahead and place it. And just to prove to you guys, as you can tell, there's still a gap there, so it's not going to hit your antenna at all. The cool thing about this roof rack is it's super modular, so now he can install a rooftop tent, he can install max tracks, he can install anything he wants up here, awnings, whatever. It's super modular, like I said, and now he can shake it just like that. So if you girls want to shake it with him, hit him up. Rav4. Alright you guys, so now that you have everything installed, everything's secured, up next, of course, now you just want to go ahead and reinstall everything that you took off in the inside, like your headliner, the pillars, the grab handles, just everything. Go ahead and put it back, and then go ahead and enjoy your Prinsu roof rack. As far as for us, if you guys do remember in the beginning of the video, we had said we got some grab handles as well to install onto this, since they are super modular. We got these bad boys here. The way this works is, depending of course how many you get, we got 2 for each side, but Steve is super generous. He's only going to keep 2, and he's actually going to give me 2 for my truck. So big shout out to this little guy right here, because he's giving me a set. But the way these bad boys work is exactly like pretty much wherever you want to install them, you could go ahead and put them. So say you want to put them there, it doesn't matter. But since he's only putting 2, he said he wants to put one like centered, so we're going to probably put it about there, and then one on the opposite side. And one more thing we wanted to note, since you can tell there is like a cutout right here. So what this cutout is for is if you guys get like little Baja design lights or anything like that, you can install them there. That way you guys have lighting on the side of your roof rack. As far as for him, he doesn't have any Baja lights with him right now, so we're going to be installing these covers, which also come with the handles. So these are going to go just like that. So I know it's a little bit hard to see because of the shadow, but as you can tell, now it's installed, and it is a grab handle, so you can grab hold of this and kind of stand up, look over your roof rack, or like we were saying, you can take this plate off and install a little light there, so that way you guys can have light right here, so when you guys are camping. One more thing, in the beginning of the video, I know I had showed you guys that we did also get some of these little brackets here, and what these are for a light bar. As you can tell, we did get the one with the cutout, so we can put a light bar there. That will be for a future video, so we're not going to be installing this in today's video, so make sure to stay tuned, be subscribed. We'll show you guys on the next one. So now that we are on the outro, so we're going to go ahead and just kind of show you guys that the cool thing about these, not only that they are modular, but they are actually crazy strong. So I don't know if you guys can see Steve right now in the back. So what he's going to do, he's going to jump from my truck and he's going to jump onto the Prinsu roof rack. Let's go ahead and have him hop on. I'm scared. But like you said, very strong. Hell yeah, he's on there and it's freaking strong. So this is just something that we like to do, just to kind of test out the Prinsu roof racks and show you guys that they're actually really strong. Because if you guys have seen all the Prinsu roof rack videos that I've made, I always have someone stand on them. So there it is, you guys, nice and strong. All right, you guys, so of course we still have Steve up there. We've had him up there for about an hour just to go ahead and see if the rails fell or not, but it looks like it's holding him. Reason why, he's getting a rooftop tent maybe, so we want to make sure that it stays, you know, intact, so that way we can have room for action. And as you can tell, it just looks awesome overall on the RAV4s. So if you guys do have one of these bad boys and you guys are thinking about it, I hope this video did help you guys out. We try to do it as a step-by-step as possible, just kind of like an in-depth one, but it looks awesome if you guys check it out. Damn. And like we were
about to get it,
like he said. And like we were saying, this thing's super modular, so you can add just basically anything you want. Of course, the light bar is coming up next. It's on back order right now, but it is coming. And we got a lot more things coming for this thing, but that's all on back order. Same thing for me. So just make sure you guys stay tuned, be subscribed. So if you guys did like today's video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next one. Make sure to get that hashtag, that Prinsu life. See you guys on the next one. Peace.
Jesse Rizo is here for you. Is here for you. Now. Like I said, it's super simple. Please feel free to subscribe.